Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah, and I'm here with my carnivore way of eating, but we also talk about keto and carnivish to accompany the carnivore lifestyle, because most of us segued from all of the other programs to get here. And if you're doing carnivore, good for you. I'm so proud of you. It's such a freeing program. I love it. Well, I don't know about you, but I love how I feel most every day. The only thing that is a in my life is what the scale is doing. But I'm not alone, because thankfully some of you turtles let me know that you've gained a little and not lost, like a lot of people have been lucky to do. But we're all holding in there and keeping each other posted on what it is. I've decided not to weigh this month of February, just to stop some of that angst, because it doesn't feel like anything's changed anyway. There's no whoosh. I'm 69. I guess I got to get over it. So I could add another animal to our barnyard of what we call ourselves, although Goldilocks isn't an animal, and it would be the eagle. And I don't know if you're old enough to remember, but there was this cartoon series where there were this mama eagle, and she had baby eagles, and one of them was just this dumb eagle that just kind of joined in because he was supposed to, and he kind of had this talk like this. And that's what I was kind of thinking of. The turtle voices are, it's like, okay, we're coming. Just, you don't have to wait for us. We're on our way, and how we do what we do at the pace that we do it. Now, the whole difference is with us as turtles is that our attitude adjustment is in fine form. We understand that the turtle is not running a sprint. We understand that we may not win the race, but along the way, there are many brass rings to pull down with things like sleep, digestion, medication, skin issues, hair issues, sensitive teeth issues, maybe even some of your bat wings. Here we come, speaking of the eagle, that are getting just a wee bit tighter. Nothing that like you could ever show in one of those films where they can speed it up and show it going. I mean, I will never have the skinny arms of somebody at the Golden Globes, that's for sure. But I do feel a bit of a difference with the sag and the bag. That it is how it is. And fortunately, we have a place here where there's going to be somebody that will identify with what you're saying, what you're feeling. And I think that most of us being older, doing either keto, carnivish, or carnivore, that there is an attitude adjustment. We watch I'm almost 40, beautiful women talk about carnivore and how, they've dropped 186 pounds and they eat 2 pounds of meat and they don't exercise and everything's just fine. Yeah, that's great. But, we know that most likely that's not us. We have some collateral damage of our decades. I'm adding on 30 more years of what that almost 40-year-old child is talking about. And it's okay, of course, but let's get real. We aren't going to bounce as if, we are tiny and tight and young. And so our attitude just gets a little bit more. Is it humble? Do we become more humble, or do we become more just going with the flow and realizing that this is what it is and appreciating all the things that have happened for us instead of pouting and stamping and, like the woman did with Vinny about her baby time clock is ticking. We don't have that goal of, 120 size 4 goals. We're a little bit more reasonable. We're not looking at bikinis in February to wear in June with a weight loss ahead of us and some toning. We don't. We think of, well, I am sleeping better. I forgot about that. Well, my scaly heel has healed. I forgot to think about that. The pain in my thumb from doing this like I'm 12 has gotten better as long as I don't eat sugar. My wrist has gotten better, so I don't feel like I need that carpal tunnel, wrap cast thing, the black thing. We forget about those nice little additions and keep it relative. If you're, over 50, over 60, over 70, and 200 is closer to your weight than 100, and a few things have improved, well, that's probably pretty darn good. That if since you've started, and every day that you've started, you probably have a little bit more going for you metabolically. I love the term metabolic damage. I did so much damage to my body, and the clarity that comes from just having this simple carnivore food plan day after day after day at my age makes me realize, how much harm I did, how much I didn't care, how much, like I stopped drinking. There was no parade, there was no parade in town, with the confetti and the balloons going up and the military salute and the jets flying over. No, it wasn't like that. It was that personal thing that finally I addressed that addiction. I quit smoking. Same deal. I'm telling all my smoking and drinking friends that I've quit smoking. What do they care? They don't want to hear it because they aren't ready to deal with it, right? So it's the same now being a carnivore. There's no sense in announcing it to everybody that you got the first night's sleep of 7 hours where you didn't toss and turn, think of taking a Benadryl at 2 a.m, didn't hate everybody the next day and have to work really hard on not hating, as if it's their fault you didn't sleep. We forget that these things could have small increments of improvement every day. So maybe you switched to Carnivish a few months ago, knowing that maybe the World Carnivore Month was coming in January, or maybe doing it so you already had a good grasp of what you needed to do before the onslaught of all those hideous, holiday things came out, the ads in the magazines, the ads on TV, the parties you went to, the regular people looking at you like, what are you, headless or something? Is there something that went wrong with you physically, medically? What do you mean you're eating just meat? It gets to the point where you don't even, want to mention it because you just don't even want an eye roll out of them, right? And so, we're privately, in angst about meeting up with this like gal pal from college or somebody from high school, or even telling our children, it's like, why are you eating just a steak as they're having the lasagna and the roll and the salads and the desserts and the, CRAP. It's really, really tough. And so, we go through a lot and we just become quieter and quieter and quieter. And we're not shouting from the rooftop what we're doing, what our benefits are. We don't try to enlist people into our world. We fortunately have found our carnivore community right here. And although most of the people that I listen to aren't even close to my age, thank God they're there. And the same with the physicians that support this lifestyle. At least we can find some videos about them and tune into them. It was funny. I got the senior center. Well, it's now the adult community center. So it's the ACC flyer with all the different classes. And I turned to the ones with cooking and nutrition. And of course, not one of them could I sit through, like this. I don't want to say anything, but you know what I mean. I mean, it's like it would be an investment of my time to go and have to say, well, yeah, I couldn't do that though, but yeah, I couldn't do that. I mean, I'm having a burger. sometimes with organic cheese on it. I'm having a ribeye. I'm having um, I'm having pork ribs. I'm having lamb chops. I'm having a pork chop. I'm having a T-bone. You know, it's like I don't need to go to a cooking class about it, you know. And so, God, it's like I'm 14 with you now. So I just need gum. And I need to be texting you while I'm talking, right? And then that's like complete. So, some things get less important in my life. Some things are more important in my life, but I'm much more private about them with other people. With you, I can talk openly about being a carnivore. But it feels a little disingenuous to sit there with a conversation where somebody's talking about, I don't know, I'm trying to give up my diet soda, or like my kids, I don't know how I need to deal with them with the sugar, as they've got 20, right, Dupuy? 20, sugar sweetened yogurts in their cart, or, they're buying the single serve, 100% sugar cereals for them to have as a snack because they think that's an improvement over cookies or cakes or something. I was at an AA meeting and there was this lovely young woman with her cute little kid who was good the whole meeting. So that's good. Stayed in the seat, which is more than I can say for others. And she brought him back a cookie and she presented it. And it was like, I don't know, in my head, her beautiful head and youngness, turned into a monster as she smiled and she handed her kid the sugar cookie, right? And it was so funny in my head how I did that, because it's like, that's how it starts. I left the bank on Saturday and there were all these lollipop sticks outside in the bushes. I guess the landscape company hasn't been there for a couple of weeks. And it reminds me of like walking into a park in San Francisco and finding nothing but needles and, piles of poo, adult or human poo. And it was just so funny to see all these lollipop sticks. And I'm sitting there thinking, because that's what they do. They have these lollipop trees at the bank, on every desk, at the regular teller, rows. And it's like, oh my God, how do you keep your kid from that? And even the most, the most aware parent keeping and trying to keep those items out of their child's life, it's just so difficult. You hear about that. At least the 40-year-old people that I watch the videos of, they do talk about that, the nutrition with their kids and how they do it. And for us older people, the grandparent age, we aren't confronted with it a lot, but it's out there. And the sugar, the sugar was always the toughest for me because it's hidden in everything. And things that didn't used to have sugar, like bread and ketchup and other condiments and salad dressings, and even some meats, right? Even some meats, yes, you heard me correctly, have sugar in them. And I'm not talking the bacon family. I'm talking other meats. It's just so out there. It's cheap, it's a filler, and it keeps us all addicted. And, we really have to fight hard. So being a carnivore is a whole new way of communicating. It's like a way of communicating versus a way of eating. How we approach our family and friends that sometimes may make a comment. It's not even an interesting question about what you're doing or why you like it. It's just a comment, Well, I know my sister-in-law did it and she didn't like it and it really screwed her up and her doctor had to, go away. I'll go back home. I'll put on my YouTube. I'll find some people that I can identify with and I'll feel comfy again. Or the anxiety of having to go to your mainstream doctor once a year and go over your, one moment in time blood work. And, I know people that just don't get the tests done anymore because they said, how logical is this? They said, I'm not going to take what they give me anyway, so why bother to go through the lab work? Pure genius, right? Although I do want to know, but I thought that was a genius statement. I have no intention of using any script they give me, so sometimes it doesn't seem like it's worth it. I love that. But I do have to go for my thyroid, and even some of the expert doctors in our keto carnivore world say, you know, with thyroid, it's different than all the other chronic diseases. You do need, you do need to take it. If you need medication, you need medication. So I do take one. It has been lowered from 75 to 50 over the last few years, but I've been taking it for like 30. So anyway, hold tight. Keep keep your world to yourself if you have to. If you're not in a keto, carnivore friendly world, just and find the term low carb. I'm just doing low carb, and shut them up. And then they'll have some opinion about keto. Should I take that pill? Should I, drink that thing, that keto slim fast that I see in the stores? And you can say, I don't know, give it a shot. Read the label, see what it says, and get the focus off of you, because nobody is going to embrace your lifestyle until they get into it themselves. Really, it's true. Would you have? 2 years ago, if somebody said they were carnivore, would you say, I'm not even sure? And you were doing keto under 20 religiously every day. So just try to bounce those things off of you. Pretend you're a warrior and you've got on your metal, your armor, and they're shooting those zingers, those verbal zingers at you, and they're just bouncing off of you because you know how you feel, and you're going to continue doing it no matter what they say or think. This has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Carnivore, and remembering our keto and carnivish sisters and brothers as well, because we're all part of the tribe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye for now.